Welcome back to Cameras and Coffee. Today is all about monochrome, black and white. And specifically, we're going to talk about the three different monochromes that are now available on the GH5 and the GH5s. This clip right here is regular monochrome. And, it's the one that's been on all these cameras through all the generations of Panasonic cameras. Nothing super fancy. You can change the filter wheel internally to go, green, yellow, red, orange, for different sort of black and white effects. You can get those and see the foliage lighten up, or, clouds change, or, that kind of stuff. I think these are sort of tuned to the old Ansel Adams type of contrast filters back in the day, where you could use a green filter for face tones, foliage, to lighten up your face tones a little bit more pleasing. If you wanted more contrast, because they used to call them contrast filters, you'd go with a yellow or orange if you wanted to pull the clouds out of the sky a little bit more, or a little bit more extreme would be red, or even the red 29, the deeper red. But right now this is just regular monochrome. I'm going to switch over to L-Monochrome right now. This is L-Monochrome, available on the GH5 and the GH5s, and I think probably other cameras, GH4. It's a slightly tweaked contrast version of their standard monochrome. I'm going to go to L-Monochrome D right now. This profile is L-Monochrome D, and a lot of photographers are really enjoying this because they feel it has an improved mid-tone feel. I'm not sure what that means exactly. Maybe it looks different on my camera. I haven't seen it yet. How do my face tones look compared to the previous ones? This next clip is going to be my tuned version of L-Monochrome D. And I'm going to go into the settings a little bit, and I'm going to add the green filter to it. I'm going to add some sharpness, and I'm going to lower some contrast. Let's go check that out right now. Okay, here we are. This is my tuned version of L-Monochrome D. Here's what I did differently. I have my contrast set at -3. I have my sharpness set at +3. Hey, now come on now. I know you guys are all groaning, oh my God. I'll tell you about that in a second. Noise reduction's at 0. For the filter, I have it on green because in classic black and white photographs of the Ansel Adams days, they used green filters for flesh tones a lot because they felt it evened out the contrast a little bit, and they didn't want, such dramatic, blacks and whites and, color craziness stuff. They felt that a green filter was a more even contrast for foliage and flesh tones. So I got the green filter going on this. What do you guys think? As far as the sharpness goes, I talked about sharpness on an earlier video. To me, it just seems really silly to take all the sharpness and turn it all the way off, and then when you get it into post, you add it back. I don't get it. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that again because that's an old video. My sharpness is +3. My contrast, -3. Noise reduction, 0. Color tone, 0, straight down the middle. No sepia, no cool blue tones, no teal and orange. Come on, man. None of that crap. As far as the color filter, the contrast filter on the bottom, I have it set on green. I feel this is the best for flesh tones. What do you guys think? How's it look back there, foliage-wise? Looks okay? I'm curious. What about my flesh tones? Probably not so bad, right? Contrast holding up. Is it too contrasty? Too bright? I don't know. I'm going to see. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed this comparison video of Panasonic's 3 different profiles. Those are the monochrome, the L-Monochrome, and the L-Monochrome D. I'm going to go through these black and white profiles in this high contrast scene. I'm using the built-in waveform monitor to confirm my exposure and not have the highlights too blown or have the shadows block up. So I'm going to go through these black and white profiles so you can see what they look like. This is the monochrome profile. All the presets are zeroed out. No plus, no minus on anything. This is monochrome. And that big bushy tree is green with lots of leaves on it, and it's backlit, and I think it looks beautiful. I'm going to switch over to L-Monochrome right now. This is L-Monochrome. I didn't adjust anything. Nothing's changed, just the setting. That tree on the left is really big and green and bushy, and it's being backlit by the sun. This should be a good test to see how these black and white profiles hold up under a little bit more harsh conditions with no flesh tones. This is a tough scene to expose for with digital cameras. You really have to watch your waveform to make sure you're not clipping all those highlights and blocking up those blacks. This is L-Monochrome. I'm going to go to L-Monochrome D right now. This is L-Monochrome D. Nothing else has changed. I didn't adjust any of the sliders. They've all been the same this whole test. The big tree on the left, nice and backlit green, lots of leaves. This is a pretty contrasty scene, and it'll be interesting to see how it holds up. In this next clip, I'm going to show you the way I adjust L-Monochrome D to help with the contrast and maybe get a little bit more exposure out of those shadows. I'm going to dig into the shadows. Okay, this is L-Monochrome D with my personal tweaks. And what I did was I lowered the contrast to -3. I added some sharpness. I know I can hear you guys gasping again. +3 on the sharpness. Colors neutral. Noise reduction neutral. Both of those are 0. For the filter, for the contrast filter, I'm using my green filter that I talked about earlier for face tones and foliage, because there's some green trees here, nice grass. And I think this is going to be a good test to see how much this really helps even out the contrast a little bit and pull those shadows open a bit more and, you know, even it out. So once again, this is L-Monochrome D with my personal tweaks to it. Do you think it's an improved version? Which one of these monochrome profiles is your favorite? I like this one. I think of all of them, I think this one is my favorite. Thanks for joining me. Hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends. See you next time.